Hello everybody, welcome back to IA Command. We've got another replay video for you here. I've been trying to play a lot of skirmish games on Vassal this week because this is my last week before I start my new job, so got to use that free time, right? So anyway, we've got a game here. It's going to be me against Kyle Bossom. You guys may have seen him on the channel before. He's well known as being a really great Vader Palp Thrawn player. And he is an excellent player. He's up here in the Northwest, I believe, although maybe not. But the only time I've met him was at regionals up in Redmond, Washington. Anyway, moving on to the list here. So I am on the left. I'm actually playing a Scum victory point manipulation list. This is kind of an alternate list I was thinking of using in Prime Championships. It's for those who don't know what it does, Scum victory point manipulation just uses a bunch of different effects that are available to Scum and Rebels that allow them to increase their victory point count artificially. So just a bunch of command cards, and then you have Sabine for like Rebel Graffiti, Hondo who can steal victory points if your opponent lets them, Jabba gives you extra victory points for each kill, and then you got stuff like Celebration, Price on Their Heads, yeah, all that good stuff. And Kyle is actually playing a little bit outside his comfort zone, I believe, although you know, I don't know. I always see him with Vader. So he's playing a box list, a Han Drokata box. So somewhat similar to the list that Average Joe Gamer was well known for making to the finals of Nova Open. But I think this one's a little closer to Kenny Brown's version of the list, where he's got Drokata instead of Leia. And then instead of the smugglers, we've got Mac Eshkaray. And so for those who don't know how this list works, basically it's a very defensive list. It uses cards like On the Lam and Miracle Worker, Second Chance, stuff like that, just to keep all the key pieces alive for a long time, so they can put out a ton of damage. And it's very hard to get kills on this list. So let's move on. We both have done our Hera movement. Excuse me. And we are playing on Lothal Wastes Fluctuations. I have initiative for the game, so I took what I think is a slightly better deployment zone, but I'm not sure if that's exactly true. So anyway, drawing my hand, my starting hand was Element of Surprise, Celebration, and Strength in Numbers. So I go ahead and activate Jabba first, which draws me into Sabine's card, Rebel Graffiti, which is really great to have on round 1. Oh, also I have Black Market in my list, which is another card that helps the list manipulate and accelerate its victory points, and also acts as card draw. So Kyle moving R2D2 forward, who was able to reach the terminal thanks to Hera. I activate 3PO here and focus up Sabine. Oh, and Greedo was my choice to focus with Jabba, just in case I want to like move him out into the middle of the field. I go ahead and activate the Jawa here to take the spot occupying the terminal and the objective. So here's my strategy for this game. I definitely don't want to go to the upper part of the map, just because I know Han's going to dominate up there. Anything I send up there can be easily reached and probably killed by Han, especially since Kyle is gonna have activation or initiative on the next round. So any figure I put up there would just be exposed to a end of round, start of round Han activation, 2 attacks from him, and would probably just be obliterated. So it's a lot easier to hide from Han's end of round when you go down to the Spire. So that's where I'm deciding to make this fight happen. So as we can see, we've been focusing up. I start moving my figures down to the Spire, Hera on the terminal. It looks like his Hera is playing planning here, and he's moving to take the upper part of the map. And like I said, I have no interest in being there. Hondo moving up, and I'm just keeping my figures. So he hasn't activated Han yet. I'm kind of just counting 8 spaces from where Han is, and then trying to see where he can get line of sight to. So like he could actually move him all the way to this middle or this line right here, which means that anything in this in these squares would be in danger of getting attacked from an end of round, start of round shot. So I'm just keeping my figures back here and making sure that I'm not exposing myself to getting ganked by Han here. So I go ahead and activate Sabine. I'm going to leave Greedo as my last activation because I want him to take the green fluctuation that's on the right side of 3PO there. And my Rebel Graffiti goes uncontested, so that's a free 2 victory points, and we get the VP ball rolling here. Now, as you can see, okay, so we've got Han activating. So, let's see. I think Drokata. Yeah, so Han just moves to control that fluctuation so he can get the victory point from it. Drokata has not activated. That's going to be his last act. Kyle, we both have 8 activations, so Kyle gets to have last activation on me. I have 8 activations, but since I have initiative, I can't pass or anything. So I go ahead and move Greedo out. Knowing that his Han has already activated, I don't have to worry about him moving 8 to go take me out. And then by putting Greedo right there, it actually means that Drokata also cannot get a shot on him. So now he's got Drokata. I'm going to just double move and use that start of round or initiative that he's going to have next round to do some damage to my Sabine here. And this might have been a little risky with Sabine to put her all the way out at the spire, but I just like having her there so she can bully R2-D2. And especially since I have Celebration, if I could kill R2-D2, that's going to be a nice 8 points for me with Jabba. Alright, so that was the end of round 1. Now we're moving into round 2. I draw Negation and Opportunistic. And then with Black Market, I reveal Pickpocket and decide that since this game is probably, he's probably going to be hanging back, we're not going to be mixing it up a lot. And if we are, it's going to be my hunters doing that. So like Onar and Sabine are going to be the ones that are getting in close. So I decided to just sell it here for the victory points. So let's move this up. So I get another victory point for that, and I'm just trying to accelerate my victory points because if I can be the one that's ahead on victory points and just passively gaining, then it's going to put pressure on Kyle instead of letting him be passive and force me to come to him. Now the only problem though is that this is not a timed game. So normally, under a timed game, once a player takes a lead, they can start playing passively and force the other player to be more proactive. But I'm going to have to be able to get to 40 on this game. So, all right, so that is going to be 2 points for me, which I think I forgot to score here. Because I should have 2 from Rebel Graffiti. Kyle gets 1 from his Fluctuation. And now we have an activation of Drokata, since Kyle has initiative. Taking a shot at Sabine. Not a great shot, but not terrible. Still, it's pretty unlikely for even a focused Drokata to one-shot Sabine. But it is possible. So 7 damage, and then 1 more with a with one of these Rebel tokens, and then he's gonna move Drokata back. So very aggressive with Drokata. Drokata is still in a position where I can get to her. So I go ahead and activate Jabba here to focus up. What is his name? Hondo. And now I know that he's going to put R2 to block. So he blocks line of sight to Drokata with R2. So now I need to get rid of R2, and then I can open up a shot with Hondo here. Important to note, I drew price on their heads with Jabba, so that's why I'm kind of doing this slowly. So I activate Sabine. Now I need to decide if I want to try and kill R2 or do something else with her. So I go ahead and grenade. And since I get the 2, I know that there's a good chance I can kill R2-D2 with a regular attack, since I have Element of Surprise. But just in case, I use Opportunistic here with Hondo. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know that after Sabine activates, Kyle can just use Gideon to pull Drokata even further back into that hallway. And if he does that, I won't be able to get at him with Hondo or anybody else unless I use Opportunistic. So Element of Surprise on R2 since she was behind the spire, and I get exactly the 4 damage I need, and 1 damage on Drokata with Blast, and that lets me play Celebration. So that's going to be 8 points for that kill on R2, and that's kind of what this list does. So I get 3 points for R2 himself, I get 1 point from Jabba, and then 4 points for Celebration. I should be at 13 though. Oh well. And then I move Sabine on this side of the spire just so that she can be safe from an end of round Han shot. And I get to play Grubble Graffiti again for another 2 points. And so Gideon moves up and pulls Drokata further back. This is where I kind of decide to do a weird play. I don't want to let Kyle have a chance to move MHD up next to Drokata where he can Miracle Worker. So I decide to go with Onar and have him play Price on their heads on Drokata and move forward. And by the way, I can ignore that difficult terrain by using Rush. And then, so I use Strength in Numbers here so that I can activate Hondo. For some reason, I thought that Hondo might be able to one-shot Drokata or do 8 damage. So the thing is that with Hondo, if the opponent doesn't have enough victory points, they can't pay. So he's going to get +2 damage, and he's focused. I don't play Hondo very often, so I'm not like super familiar with his damage profile. It just felt like that would be a lot of damage, you know? So I go ahead and attack Drokata. But Kyle's got Brace for Impact. And rolls a real chunky roll there with 6 blocks from Drokata's innate. And I don't do so good on my red die there. So what I was hoping would be an 8 damage attack ends up being a 2 damage attack. And now I'm pretty committed to... I'm like going in deep on attacking his formation here, which means he can harvest points from me. So it looks like 3PO focused up Hera and moves to be next to Gideon. And now it feels like Drokata is pretty out of reach here. So let's see. I think what I did... Oh, so I double move Greedo, thinking that now I can kill something with Greedo if he kills Greedo. That was pretty aggressive. I do tend to be pretty aggressive with Greedo. So Hera stepping forward to take a shot at Hondo. And I dodged because that's... yeah. You know, I know that I'm really lucky. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I do roll dodges, but here's the thing: I don't ever like count on it. Like, whenever I'm about to roll the white dice, I'm like, okay, here comes the blank. I'm probably going to take a ton of damage here. And then, dodge happens. And it's great, but, like, I don't throw figures out there just thinking they're going to dodge. I kind of made that as a sacrifice play. So, I just got lucky there. I moved the Jawa up. I think I moved him up here because I, for some reason, thought 3PO could take his same spot. And I just wanted to have more firepower available to me. But yeah, it's not going to work out. So, Kyle just activates Mac as a pass. And Mac has a really nice little hiding spot there. And I activate 3PO and realize I can't get to the Fluctuation. So now MHD is moved up to be next to Drakata. He had to double move since he was 5 spaces away. Now I activate Hera. So I think I thought I could move her up here and be kind of safe, but the problem is she would not be safe from an end of round Han shot if he double moves, so I just decided to put her on the Fluctuation. And then Kyle double moves Han to be next to Drakata. So now we're doing end of round 2. That's going to be, looks like 1 VP for me and 0 for Kyle. So Doubt's going to take the focus off of Greedo. And then end of round shot, focus shot from Han on Greedo. But I drew into On the Lamb end of round. And I got to draw 3 cards actually because I had Greedo on his terminal. So I actually drew Heightened Reflexes, Black Market Prices, and On the Lamb. So didn't get a dodge, so decided to just book it. And couldn't decide where I wanted to put him here, but I think I just decided to go on the Fluctuation, kind of where he can't get to me. Black Market lets me take initiative here as my end of round ability. And now it's going to be my initiative. Kyle tries to play take, but I have the negation. And now I make, I think, a bit of a misplay. So Kyle plays second chance on Drakata. What I should have probably done here is gone with Sabine. Since she is not safe there, there's a hole for line of sight there. And I should have just run away with her so I could get my Rebel Graffiti. I think I was hoping somehow that I could kill Drakata. So what I end up doing is activating Hondo, using his first action to play Black Market Prices, which draws Assassinate and Primary Target, neither of which Hondo can use. In this game, I feel like I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be attacking Han at all, just because that's inviting too much On the Lamb, Miracle Worker shenanigans. So I dump Primary Target for the 1 victory point, which is nice. And now I take my shot on Drok, so now that Drok has price on their heads on his head, Drok has become the king of this game. Like, kill Drakata, win the game. Don't kill Drakata, probably don't win the game. So Drok plays Stealth Tactics. And still can't pay. Kyle's only got 1 victory point still. Stealth Tactics getting a blank, which is why I am somewhat ambivalent on the card, at least with white die figures. But it makes sense in this list because with the box, you're trying to maximize your defensiveness. So that ends up doing 5 damage, 1 short of peeling that second chance off of Drakata. Which was, yeah. So Anyway, now Kyle's gonna activate Drakata. Plays Heart of Freedom. Recovers 2 damage. Spends a move, it looks like. Nope. He's gonna just use the 2 movement points. And then he plays Arcing Shot, and this is a really great move here. So what he does is he uses Arcing Shot to target the space that Sabine is standing on, but then to target Onar behind her. So basically bends the grenade right around Sabine's head into Onar standing behind her. And this is really clever because Drakata can actually use Blast too. And he doesn't have to worry about a dodge on Sabine. So here we go. He's going to do a lot of damage here. And because he's got Hera up there, I can't stop him at all from getting that blast or the +2. So I use Get Down. We did this out of order. So usually if Sabine adds a surge, Hera should have to add first with her ability. And then Onar gets to react to that. So I should have probably added a block here, but it's all good. I didn't bother. So Onar takes 8 damage and then Blast 2 onto Sabine and the Jawa. And then Drakata takes a damage to Demolish, which allows him to kill Sabine. So great play there. And then because he had the 2 movement points, he gets to move all the way back behind all of his figures. And that gives him 7 victory points. So now he's on the board. So yeah, wishing I had activated Sabine there just to get her out of the fight, maybe heal up some damage, and then just have access to infinite Rebel graffitis for the rest of the game. But didn't do that, so we got to pay for our mistakes. So now I'm feeling a little more pressured. Like I feel like he's definitely going to kill Hondo, which is going to put him at 14. And then if I split everybody up and try to like take objectives, Han's just going to run around and pick people off. So now really I need to kill Drakata. I have to find a way to get to Drok. So 3PO activates, focusing Onar. Kyle activates Gideon, putting another figure between me and Drakata. Oh no, actually. What did he do there? I think he focused up Hera there. So he's gonna... Oh yeah, so he's focusing Hera, but he's gonna move back. So now Mac activates. So I activated Jabba and focused... who did I focus? Well, I hope I didn't focus Hera because that would not be legal. But I think that's what I did. Oops. So what I should have done is I should have done 3PO focus Hera, Jabba focus Onar, and that would have been fine. So anyway, I drew tools for the job with Jabba, and then so now that I've drawn, Mac goes ahead and activates Intelligence Leak, which lets him look at my entire hand and take one out for equal strain. So discards Assassinate, takes 3 damage on his 4 health Mac, and then he plays Strategic Shift. And keep in mind, I have no cards left in my deck, so 4 cards going back in. Now, I find this interesting because, you know, Strategic Shift and Intel Leak, no, for me, usually I'm of the opinion that it's better to Strat Shift first and then Intel Leak after you do that, so they're left with only 1 card in their hand and it's the worst card of the 2 they drew. But I know a lot of people say they like to do Intel Leak and then Strat Shift just to see if they need to do it at all. Now I guess the thing about that here is that if he Strat Shifted first, then it might leave Assassinate in my deck where you can't get to it. So I could see that being the case. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys, for those of you who have played Spies, or just your opinion on the matter. Is it better to strat shift first and then intel leak, or intel leak first and then strat shift? And tell me why in the comments. Okay, so anyway, I draw my 2, and they're basically the 2 best cards I could have wanted. Heightened Reflexes and Tools for the Job, which means Rebel Graffiti and Take Initiative are in the deck now, where I can draw them for next turn. So I go ahead and activate Hera here. Moving her forward, I move her onto the Fluctuation. Oh, by the way, we've been forgetting about the Fluctuations. Both the, I don't think the power tokens have mattered yet, but we haven't been shifting them. But I don't think it really mattered this game. This game is definitely about something else. So Hera activates. Looks like she's taking a shot at Hondo. Focus shot, and there's another dodge. So that's the second dodge on top of On the Lam. So feeling like Hondo would probably be dead at this point if it weren't for those 2 dodges. Alright, so now I've got Greedo, Jawa, and the Onar left. Or Greedo, Onar, and the Jawa left. And I realized something unfortunate is I had been thinking that... So he left a space open there adjacent to Drakata. And I was thinking, well, I could double move Greedo up right next to Drakata, who's already activated. And then at the end of the round, if Han tries to shoot Greedo and kill him, then Greedo can shoot Drakata. But the problem with that is that Second Chance is there, and Second Chance has the same timing window as Han's end of round shot. So if Han does his end of round shot, kills Greedo, also Doubt is going to take place as well. So he could Doubt Greedo, take his focus away, then kill him. And then even if Greedo kills Drakata, Second Chance will still be there technically, and that regeneration shield will still be up. So that's not going to work. So I decide instead, I'll just take a shot here since I can move 4 and then move back. So I could actually shoot at Han and not get a return fire on me. With Tools for the Job and Focus, it would be like pretty good attack, and with Heightened Reflexes. But there's no way I one-shot Han. The other problem is that Han has On the Lam that could save him, and he also has Miracle Worker that could save him. MHD only has Miracle Worker, so there's a better chance that I will actually get to put this kill through. So I decide to go for MHD here. I play Tools for the Job. We actually I think we forgot to do Slow on the Draw. I don't think it would actually have mattered. Like, I mean, I can roll the dice here. Yeah, see, he would have dodged. So, yeah, an unfocused MHD is not going to do 7 damage to Greedo no matter what. But anyway, so rolling for Greedo. Perfect attack roll for Greedo. I think that's the max he can do, which is like, what is that? 6, 7, 10, 12? Whoa, really? Is that 12? No, that can't be 12. 6, 9, that's 11. So actually, if I had stayed where Hera could help him and shot at Han, he could have one-shotted Han there, but for sure he would have had On the Lam. And now I got totally lucky, and somehow Kyle hadn't drawn Miracle Worker yet. So that's 6 points for me. 5 points from MHD, 1 point from Jabba, and then I move Greedo back. So that was super lucky for me that he didn't have Miracle Worker. Now this also means that I can kill, or I can shoot at Drakata without having to be afraid of Miracle Worker, which is a great feeling. So he draws with Heroic Effort. Now we've got Han activating. Takes a shot at Hondo. No dodge this time. Cool 4 damage. Leaving at 5 health left. And let's see. Now we just got the Jawa who's going to run. Now that Han... What I was worried about was Han activating and killing Onar. So now that Han's activated, he's only got, I think, 3 PO left. So now I feel like I can move this Jawa and leave Onar a little exposed. But now I go and take this Fluctuation. 3 PO is going to come up, focus Han for his end of round shot. And so now this is a big turn. So I've got Onar. Because of that terrain that Drakata placed on her way out, Onar can't really get up to rush. Can't rush Drakata. And can't really attack anybody except for Han, and then would probably die from a return fire. But the problem is if I want to be able to get to Drakata, I have to move Onar forward into that area, which could leave Onar open to end of round shot. The other thing that we need to realize is that I have initiative this round, so Kyle's going to get it next round. But I know that Take Initiative is in my deck, and I can draw it with Black Market. There's only 2 cards left in my deck. So the question is, do I push him all the way up to Drakata so that in case Drakata activates and runs away... So the thing is, we have to remember, Kyle has not played Negation yet. So if I play Take Initiative and he has Negation, and then he activates Drakata, he'll just kill Onar, run away with Drakata, and then I'm SOL. If you don't know what that means, go ask your sailor friends. Anyway, I kind of just decide that so the real risk here is that if I move Onar too far up, that a focused Han attack could just take him out. Even though I think he already used Hera this round. So I decide that I just can't let that happen. I have to hope that I can take initiative and not let Onar get killed at the end of the round. So I double move Onar. So this is what I was thinking of putting him, so that I could get to Drakata in case Drakata activates first. But I realized that he's just going to die from an end of round Han shot and then a Drakata attack. So I put him down here instead. So I double moved around Hondo so that Han can't draw line of sight. So that way I know that Onar is going to survive to the next round. So that's the end of the round. I think that was round 3. So we're going into round 4. And remember, I just need to kill Drakata. Drakata's worth 14 points if I kill her, because she's got Price on their heads and Jabba. So second chance goes away, heals Drakata for 2. Drakata's got 4 health left. I draw the last card in my deck. It's Rebel Graffiti. End of round, I use Black Market to buy Take Initiative for 0. Oh, and I actually remember to score. So this time I got 3 points for Fluctuations. Kyle's got no points. And end of round shot. Oh, and Doubt's going to take away Onar's focus here. So end of round shot. Han on Hondo. No dodge, so that's a dead Hondo. 6 points to Kyle. No start of round. Take Initiative. And no negation. Again, a lucky draw for me. He's got 3 cards left in his deck. He had not had Miracle Worker when he needed it, and now he didn't have negation when he needed it. So super luck of the draw. That means I get to activate Onar. I move him all the way forward just because I know his aim's kind of shoddy. Take an unfocused shot on Drakata. And I get exactly the accuracy I need. Couldn't use any surges even if I wanted to. And that is going to do 4 damage exactly. Although keep in mind I do have heightened reflexes in my hand. So that's Drakata gone. 14 points from 24 puts me at 38. That would have actually been 40 if I'd been keeping track of my Fluctuation points at the beginning. But I have Rebel Graffiti in my hand. And because I know that he doesn't have negation, that means when I activate Hera, it's going to put me at 40. And that's how the Scum Victory Point deck works. So we had a little discussion here about, so if he attacks here, and if he uses Hera to add a surge, then I'll just not use Onar, or use the Onar to add a block. If he uses Onar to add a block, or if he uses Hera to add a damage, then I use Onar to add a surge cancel. So anyway, yeah, that's just kind of a weird interaction between Hera and Onar, where Onar can always kind of juke and react to what Hera does. So that's going to be Rebel Graffiti for 240 points. And yeah, excellent game. Just again, super lucky on my part. For one thing, the 2 dodges that kept Hondo alive a little longer. Although I don't know. So let's see. If he did have negation there, let's kind of look at this. If he had negation, he would have activated Drakata and run away. He probably would have attacked first and used Hera and maybe killed Onar. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back to that little hiding spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Onar definitely would not have gotten there. I would have been at 24 still. Maybe could have killed Gideon. And then he would have killed Onar to get to 20. Probably Greedo to get to 24. And then killed maybe Hera to get to 28. So it would have still been close, especially if I killed Gideon or Gideon and 3PO. It would have been super close, assuming that would have been the last round because of a time limit. But getting that take initiative without negation was the clutch that won the game. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You kind of get to see how the box operates. Unfortunately, Kyle didn't draw quite the right cards he needed when he needed them. But you also kind of got to see a lot of the tricks that the Scum victory point list gets to do. So hope you guys enjoyed that standard game, and I hope you'll come back and enjoy the next one. All right, peace out.